Thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we talk about the royals, and we end with our weekly feature, The Comments of the Week. The stories, photos, and tweets we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 84.
Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra, I'm the head writer for Celebrity, and I write as Kaiser.
So we're going to be on for the next 2 weeks because we took last week off, and then we'll be off again on March 28th. So that's our schedule for a little bit. Maybe we'll take a few weeks off in the summer. I don't know yet. Hopefully we'll want to because we'll be able to do stuff.
Yeah, and we'll probably have to change up a little bit in April because of the awards. Although the SAG Awards, they're just going to be an hour long, which is amazing. They just announced that.
That's so nice.
Yeah, but the Oscars, they'll probably be a mess, and they'll probably be 10 hours long. And
they're the last week of April, so it might be the same in April, but yeah, it's going to be a mess. And do you know that the Critics' Choice Awards are at the same time as Harry and Meghan's interview this Sunday? You don't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I'll watch them. I'll tape both and go back and forth. I was going to talk to everybody on Zoom, but I'm going to have to bow out of that so I could pay attention to both things.
Yeah, and the Critics' Choice Awards they're the lowest quality award show, and if they were smart about it, they would just make it into a totally virtual thing as well.
They were throwing shade at the Golden Globes, saying that they're going to be better than the Globes or different.
Well, I mean, it would be difficult to not be better than the Golden Globes.
Yeah, you can't be shittier than they were. All those stupid clips and stuff that they had. Why didn't they just cut an hour and cut all the dumb filler? There's nobody to entertain. I mean, there were some frontline workers, but...
No, I get it. There was so much filler bullshit, and then halfway through the show, they started playing off people at home. It was ridiculous.
It was bad. We're not even going to talk about the Golden Globes today because there's so much Royals news. It's insane.
Well, you've seen a lot of the potential Oscar-nominated will-be nominees. Yeah, I've barely seen any of the stuff you've seen.
You and I have both seen Promising Young Woman because I bought that and watched it right away and then lent it to you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did because I really wanted to see it. But God, that shit was dark.
I liked it, but it was about a half hour too long. There are a bunch of extra scenes I thought they should have cut. And we're not going to give any spoilers for anybody, but the ending was really dark.
Yeah. There have been a few, recent things where a movie or a TV show really just surprises the fuck out of me. And then I'm, surprised that it surprised me. Prodigal Son is like that too. Not that that's going to be winning any awards, but Prodigal Son, you think it's going to be just this totally weird kind of predictable show, and they keep on fucking with me.
I don't like shows like that are unpredictable with what they do if it feels manipulative to the audience, but I like that one movie. And my favorite so far out of the movies that are likely to be nominated, I have not seen The Five Bloods. So I should watch that. That's probably going to be nominated. But I really liked The Trial of the Chicago 7. I thought that was excellent. And it was way better than I was expecting for a courtroom drama.
I haven't seen that yet, but on your recommendation, I'm going to.
You'll like it and you'll be like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I bitch about Aaron Sorkin, he can write the fuck out of a script. He can.
It was compelling and it made you angry. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, all of a sudden, I'm an Aaron Sorkin stan or something. I don't know.
I didn't watch The West Wing, but I know you
God.
watched it a couple times.
Well, he wasn't even writing for that, after season 3 or something.
That happens a lot with those shows where the showrunners just bow out.
Yeah. Well, I think that was around the time when he, went back to, doing cocaine all the time. No, I'm fucking serious. But then they got all these writers to replace him on The West Wing, and the show got so much better when he left. Sorry, Aaron Sorkin.
He doesn't care. He's not listening to us. I saw that Nomadland too, and I was feeling so depressed watching it, but I couldn't stop watching it. It's very compelling. It has this real feel to it because they used actual
real people.
Yeah, apart from the main actors, even the secondary actors are real nomads who live in their vans and move around. And it's just sad that people have to live like that. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it won Best Picture or Best Director. What's her name?
Chloé Zhao.
Chloé Zhao. Yeah, she just won Best Director at the Globes. I wouldn't be mad if it won.
Everyone loves her. Everyone is like obsessed with Chloe right now. She directed the Eternals for Marvel with Angelina and Salma. Angelina just said flat out that she wanted to do the movie because of Chloé Zhao.
I think Frances McDormand was really loving her when she was talking about her as well.
People really care about her.
I saw half of the U.S. versus Billie Holiday, and I was really disappointed in that. Like, Andra Day can act amazingly well. She did an excellent performance, but it made Lady Day seem like just a drug addict and a sex addict. And it felt like it didn't give her the props that she deserves for being an activist. And it just felt kind of flat to me.
Yeah, I mean, I always think that Billie Holiday and Nina Simone were just such complicated, complex women. And I don't feel like current day Hollywood has even scratched the surface of who those women really were.
They had fucking Zoe Saldana playing
Yeah.
Nina Simone in blackface. That's outrageous. And it's what Tanisha has been saying. They need a black woman to write that story of these famous women and to do them justice, and somebody who really sees it through a different lens that's more about how complex and human they were versus, yeah. But I would like Andra Day to win Best Actress. I mean, we'll talk about that later when we get the Oscar nominations. I won't go off on that tangent.
I think Andra Day and Frances McDormand are the two big leading contenders. Maybe Viola for Ma Rainey, or is she more a supporting role?
She's the lead. I think that she's the lead. Chadwick is definitely going to win for Best Supporting Actor. Holy crap. He got me teary. Like, his performance was phenomenal in that. You can really tell that Ma Rainey was a play. Like, it has the feel of a play with the way the characters talk and how it's kind of set in one place. Yeah, but once you get used to that, yeah.
So there's that one. There was that terrible movie of, once again, sorry, Denzel and Viola, but Fences. It was so staged like a play in a film, and it really bugged me. And you can really tell that about One Night in Miami. Once again, sorry, Regina.
Yeah, it had the feel of a play.
There needed to be more of an adaptation for scenery and for, I don't know. It didn't all have to take place in a hotel room.
Exactly. I watched about half of that, and it was a little bit slow. Like, it's important what they're talking about, but there's a lot of talking, and that's how you do a play, you know?
Yeah.
But
so far, my favorite movie that I've seen that's going to be Oscar bait, whatever, is Sound of Metal.
I want to see that.
Riz Ahmed is incredible. I've been a fan of his for years, but I've never seen him in any movie or TV show where I'm like, oh, this is a career-defining performance. Oh, this is what he's going to be remembered for. It's so subtle what he's doing, and you can tell how much work he put into it, but it's also a very method performance. It's very natural.
Okay, I'm going to watch that then because you sold me on it. I also read Roxana Hadidi's review at Pajiba, and that made me want to watch it. So, and he'll get nominated, so yeah, I'm definitely going to watch that one.
And I mean, if he loses to someone like Gary Oldman and Mank, I'm going to be really mad.
So we both saw Mank. I fast-forwarded the second half.
I only fast-forwarded through his last drunk speech.
He's like puking on the floor.
Yeah. Amanda Seyfried is great. She's great as Marion Davies. I would be perfectly fine with her getting nominated and winning awards for that role. I thought Charles Dance was a great William Randolph Hearst. Gary Oldman, the character annoyed the fuck out of me. The screenplay annoyed the fuck out of me. And Gary Oldman just played drunk. That's all he did.
And how many chances are old white male alcoholics going to get? Like, they set him up in this house. He took forever to write this screenplay. He had all these people helping him, all these women helping him. And we're supposed to believe that he's faithful to his wife. And
all he did throughout the entire movie is screw over friends and colleagues and coworkers. Like, that's all he did.
He was an asshole.
And yet he's supposed to be like some unsung hero or resident genius. We didn't really get to see that. We only saw him like drunkenly work on the Citizen Kane screenplay. And like, that's one screenplay is not evidence of a genius.
No, I think that movie's overrated.
It's a good movie because of Orson Welles.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it in years, but I liked Mank's nods to classic cinema and how they did the filming, and they used a lot of techniques that they used to use back in the day. You could tell that they were doing that, and it was cute. And I loved Amanda Seyfried. She played it cute, but not too cutesy. Yeah. Like, I felt like it was really her. But yeah, who cares about that movie? Jesus.
Well, Hollywood loves it because Hollywood loves stories about itself.
It's Hollywood. Yeah. You want to talk about the Royals? This week was a lot, and thank you so much for all your coverage, because I was like having trouble keeping up with everything, just reading what you were writing. I was like, oh my gosh, how is she keeping up with writing about this? It's been insane.
If you missed one day, you missed like 20 huge and or minor stories. Like, so much about this week has been about royals.
It's been crazy. So when we were off, Prince Harry did that cute interview with James Corden. That was released at the end of the week that we were off. And it was just fun. Like, they rode on the double-decker bus. The tea trolley fell on Harry. They did that Spartan race, and Harry looked like super strong and buff.
Yeah, it was very cute. It was light. He stayed on message. Rainey said something that I thought was smart. He was reintroducing himself to an American audience. I mean, that's what it was. He's like, I'm going to live in America right now. You know, hey, America, I'm pretty cool. And Americans were like, oh my God, you are really cool. We love you.
He was awesome. They went to that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air house, and he's like, can I use your bathroom? And
I thought that bit was the one where it went on too long, but I could have watched Harry do the Spartan challenge stuff forever.
I would have liked to see more of that too. He was so fit. I liked seeing him climb that rope.
I mean, that was just epic. Even James Corden seemed surprised at how strong he was. And I mean, the upper body strength it takes to just climb that rope like it's nothing. It's insane.
Yeah, I can't even do a pull-up. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Maybe one. Maybe I could do one.
I could not.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not trying right now. First now, we're going to talk about the first two teasers for Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah, because that is the context for all the freak out that the palace did after that, which was insane. In those teasers that we saw that came out Sunday night, Meghan didn't even say anything. All Oprah said to her was, were you silent or were you silenced? And then Harry talked about his mom, Princess Diana, and what that was like for her going through everything by herself. He said, at least we had each other, for him and Meghan.
Yeah, that broke my heart, and that it made me sad for him. It made me sad for Diana. It seemed like he was visibly in pain at the thought of his mother going through all of this shit all by herself, without help from her husband, without help from the institution.
And she was so young, too, when she went through that. And at first, the palace and the royal rota tried to use the tactic to criticize them that, oh, Prince Philip is in the hospital. And everyone's like, yeah, Prince Philip is 99, you guys. You know, like, that's kind of typical. I'm sorry that he's in the hospital, but he's 99. It has nothing to do with the Sussexes.
The way they kept on going on and on about it, it made it seem like that's the reason why Philip was in the hospital, was so that they could use it as a cudgel against Harry and Meghan. It's like, did you force him to check into the hospital or something? Why do you keep talking about this? And then he had a minor operation, and no one knows exactly what that was. So
we heard that he had an infection. Then we heard he had a minor heart operation. People are saying in the comments they don't do operations on people that old unless it's important or something. I don't know. Yeah, whatever happened, they used it against Harry and Meghan because they always do that.
Yeah.
And then they started smearing Meghan hardcore, and they said that she bullied a staffer. And this was this article in the Times that was just outrageous.
The whole idea behind the Times of London smear campaign, which was 2 articles, was that Kensington Palace is projecting what they think Meghan is going to say, which is that Meghan was bullied by Prince William, by the institution, by royal aides, and by the media. And so they're saying, oh, fuck you, you're not a victim because you actually bullied these palace aides. And then when you ask for specifics about anything, they don't have any. But this young woman was crying in her car. Why was she crying? What did Meghan say? No one will ever answer.
It's just like every other smear they use against her. And we talked about this in episode 81 when we discussed birth certificate gate. Because they made people cry over birth certificate gate. She made people cry over the kids' tights. And then they add some jewelry scandal in there. And that's their whole strategy.
Do you remember how long it took us to get to kids' tights? Because it was literally 2 years to get to that point.
Oh, okay. Years.
We heard that Meghan made Kate cry. And we just heard that over and over and over again, and we never knew why. Whenever anyone asked for context, it was always, no, you don't understand. Meghan made Kate cry. And then we finally found out what it was. And it was Kate was crying over kids' tights.
Because Kate tried to fucking dictate to Meghan what to do at her own wedding. And Meghan's like, no, I don't think the kids should wear tights. Oh, God. And even the examples that the Times of London gave were just of people being frustrated because they got asked to do their jobs, basically.
Yeah, even that, you just have to read the subtext. No one will actually come out and say exactly the context of whatever these situations are. It was always like, Meghan was just very harsh to people when they weren't doing their jobs. Okay, so what exactly did she say?
I like this segment that you highlighted from one of the articles in the Times. It's, quote, people need to be treated well and with some understanding, even when they were not performing to their standards, they were told. Meghan is said to have replied, it's not my job to coddle people. So she asked somebody to do their job because they weren't doing it, and then she got blamed for it.
And once again, how incompetent are these people? We've seen it so often in relation to Meghan and Harry and how the palace treats them in the fucking amateur hour of Buckingham Palace and all that. But like this week has been an absolute clown show.
It has.
They have no strategy. They're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks.
Exactly.
They're not being coherent. They're just being bullies.
And it's reaching critical mass how poorly they were treated now. Before, it was something that only gossip observers like us would know about. Now, the celebrities are tweeting about it. Average people know. The palace has shown their asses so thoroughly now. There's no walking back from this.
So we talked about this on Zoom, and this is Courtney, Amira, and Alnaz.
We've talked about it a million times, but like they're just showing their hands. There's so much bad shit that they've done, and they're like, oh my God, they're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about it. And then when they don't talk about it, it's going to be like, oh, well, maybe they're nicer than we are. I had a psychology professor who once said in a lecture, people think people are going to treat them the way they treat others. So I think that that's so telling because obviously they would have bitched and complained about all of the terrible things that have happened. So they think, of course, Harry and Meghan are going to do that because they're going to be just as terrible as we are, not realizing that they're like, look, we don't care anymore because we can't. It's not healthy for us to care anymore.
But the thing is that now they're making them care again. If they had just done their little never complain, never explain little thing and just shut up, it would have just blown over. But now it's like they just have no instincts. No. If you would just shut up. But now it's all of this is coming to light. Everyone's looking at what they're doing. And now everyone, with the exception of the Kate Loonies and the royal, stands, are basically like, oh, wow, you guys are really messed up.
And they're totally underestimating Harry's rage. He's been keeping it in for 15 years. Now he's got somebody by his side. It's blown up already, and it's just going to get worse, and they don't get it.
And do they not get that he can just do another interview?
Yeah, that's the thing.
This is just one. Like, all he has to do is pick up the phone. Anybody in this country that is a journalist will speak with him.
Yeah, they're just showing their hands. And if they want to bring it to Harry and Meghan, they'll just bring it right back because now the world is watching.
Yeah, and like, I get that people are stressed out on behalf of Harry and Meghan. I've seen that in comments a lot. And I feel stressed about them too. Like, there was one morning I got up like crazy early this week and I was like, I'm feeling so stressed out on behalf of Harry and Meghan. But like, it's so much better right now because they're away. They found their freedom. They are not being controlled by these hypocritical dumbasses. They get to deny things in real time within the same 24-hour cycle.
Yeah.
Meghan and Harry got out that denial for the Times of London so fast. You know, they just get to be more responsive, and I'm very happy for them for that alone and for everything else.
Yeah, and that piece in Harper's Bazaar by Omid Scobie is just quite good.
Yeah.
The fucking palace said they're going to do an investigation into whether Meghan bullied her staff, which is outrageous. And Scobie pointed out that the alleged victims didn't even file a complaint.
Yeah, this was all Jason Knopf. I mean, it's just palace intrigue. And it's very half-assed palace intrigue. Like, there's no big secret. Everyone knows who's behind it. Everyone knows that it's Prince William having a fucking temper tantrum and using his staff to wage this asinine campaign against his brother and sister-in-law.
The timing is ridiculous and obvious. They would have never brought this out if they weren't afraid of what is going to be revealed in the Oprah interview. It's really blatant. And I also liked in Scobie's piece the quote about how Black women have this near universal experience as being characterized as angry or aggressive at work when they just are trying to get their jobs done and trying to ask other people to get their jobs done, particularly white women.
Yeah, and the universal experience of being a woman of color, being a Black woman, and just saying a completely honest, neutral statement and having white people project anger. Having people project all of their bullshit onto you. Yeah. I wrote this. I was like, you know, Meghan could sit in the Oprah interview and say the sky is blue, and people would climb up her ass about it.
Yeah. I like that line that you wrote about what they would do. It was kind of funny, but sad too.
No, I mean, it's completely true. I mean, they would climb up her ass. If she just made the most average declarative statement, they would climb up her ass.
And it occurred to me this week, I tweeted it, I got a lot of play, that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, they have done this to her. The smear campaigns against her escalate when she's pregnant.
Yep. They honestly do. Like, it was so bad when she was pregnant with Archie. I still feel like traumatized on her behalf at how bad it was, especially in like the last trimester of her pregnancy with Archie. That was when like William's affair story started coming out. And Kensington Palace was going so fucking hard at her about everything.
All right, I want to play this segment of Zoom. This is Karen and Amira talking about their experiences at work.
So many people of color have been through this experience where they're just trying to do their job. You know, women, especially if it's a white woman, if you're just simply asking someone to do their job, it gets blown out of proportion, and then it becomes the angry Black woman trope. It was just like reliving that experience over and over again. It's like, I'm just trying to do my fucking job. That's
Every
it.
Black woman in a professional setting has had this exact scenario. I've had conversations. You know, the way that you say things, maybe if you say it a different way, sometimes you can come off as aggressive. And meanwhile, I'm just being professional and asking for things that I need in a direct manner.
I was on a call this past week, and this woman on a call was being hella disrespectful to the manager. And I'm like, there was no fucking way I could get away with this. I mean, over talking her. There's no way I could have gotten away with this. No way. And the manager, you could tell she was trying to take a deep breath and like, okay, we need to move on. but she's not going to get in trouble at all. But again, if I did that, if I let my emotions get to me, it would be completely different.
I can't imagine how hard that is, having to monitor everything you're saying so that you're not misinterpreted and then getting judged and labeled for it anyway, especially at work where you're trying to just do your job. The thing about Meghan is that if you look at her objectively, she's lovely and kind, and everyone who's worked with her in the past says that about her.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the royal bubble, everyone who's ever worked with Meghan adores her and thinks that she's great.
She lives by this, we've talked about this affirmational life where she tries to be kind and she tries to see things positively and she treats other people very nicely, but she's a go-getter and she gets things done. So anybody who watches her can see these smears for what they are.
And like, here's the thing. Obviously, I think that Meghan is very American, and I think as Americans, we are very direct. And I also have to say that, like, I don't even think that Meghan, she's not some hard-charging, direct American. Like, we've seen her. She's very actressy. She's very sweet. She speaks in a gentle voice. I don't see her as, like, sitting there and saying, I want this done. I want that done. She's not like that, even.
No, she's not. It's outrageous. It's just not true about her. Oh, and also not true is the story that she wore earrings gifted to her. It was so obviously bad. She wore earrings gifted to her by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia 3 weeks before he ordered for the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
No, 3 weeks after.
3 weeks after. Yeah. We didn't know that. Even 3 weeks later, people didn't know it. And even if she knew it, she didn't know where the earrings came from.
You know who was meeting with Prince Mohammed bin Salman a few months before he killed Khashoggi or ordered Khashoggi's murder? Prince William and Prince Charles. He was in the palace meeting with them, which is where he handed off the earrings as a wedding gift.
Yeah, this is the same story. This is like the tiara story. This is Meghan getting set up.
Yeah, exactly. And this one had a particular bent where it didn't even feel like it was something that Prince William really cared about. It definitely felt like it was a Buckingham Palace, Angela Kelly issue where there were people like Angela Kelly, very much Angela Kelly, setting Meghan up because Angela Kelly is the one who controls the royal collection jewelry. And Meghan would have had a limited number of options for that tour. Angela Kelly would have picked out those options.
She set her up. I like how you covered that. You said that she was setting up a long-running smear.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Sussexes denied this, and they just basically said they didn't know where the earrings came from, and they weren't present.
Part of that, like, smear in the Times of London was that Meghan gave her staff different versions of where the earrings came from. Her staff should know where they came from. Her staff are the ones responsible for giving those details to the press. They're the ones saying, oh, tonight Meghan is wearing a gown by this designer and jewelry from the royal collection and blah, 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 blah. Meghan's not responsible for knowing every single thing, especially when it's borrowed.
Yeah. And even if she wore them after that, why is it her fault? It's outrageous.
Well, I mean, I would be curious in knowing when she found out that they were from the Saudis and if she knew that they were connected to MBS. I would be curious, just as I'm curious about how many royal collection pieces are from the House of Saud. And, which despot gave a blood diamond to the Queen this time.
Yeah.
So let's do a full audit. Hey, let's try that. Let's do a full audit of the royal collection. Thank you, Times of London.
Yeah, that's what we said in Zoom. Like, if they want to open this can of worms, they can do it.
Yep.
What really sent me over the edge today was the whole earring thing. You really want to open that can of worms? You really want to go there? Meanwhile, Miss Thing is walking around with a crown jewel that they stole from South Africa. Don't even start.
I was really hoping that a follow-up was going to be like, oh, so are you going to either repatriate any of the crown jewels that have issues with provenance, or are you going to sell them and have the proceeds go to the crown charities? Because either of those options we would love to accept. Please open this can of worms. We're ready for you. The Kohinoor is going to get on the first flight back to India.
And I'm telling you, Emily Andrews clearly is not familiar with Black Twitter or the Sussex Squad, but she learned yesterday.
Is she the one who wrote back to Kaiser?
Yeah.
Yes. she been cozying up to Kaiser for the last 2 weeks, and I've been sitting in the corner going like this.
This thread, oh my God, did they get her? Oh my gosh. This is the best read. I love it.
I like Courtney was talking about the Kohinoor. That's like the big giant diamond in the actual crown. And it's from India. They fucking stole it from India.
They did. They need to send it back, but they're never going to do that. They're just going to blame Meghan for something that she had no idea about. And so everybody was talking about Emily Andrews coming in your mentions. That happened Tuesday night. And I'm going to bookmark that in the post for this. This is episode 84.
I'll tell the background on this. So, like, the Times of London story came out, and I had to message my friend in Great Britain who she has a subscription to the Times, and she often sends me, like, email copy of, like, the entire article, because I'm not going to fucking subscribe
to that for us. I unsubscribe because it's $20 a month, and I was like, I don't want to pay that.
Yeah, I remember you subscribed for like a month for Finding Freedom. When they were excerpting it. But anyway, so she sent it to me. And as I was like writing it up, I was like, oh, I should put something on Twitter so that 20 million people won't send this to me. And so I said my piece that it was fucking bullshit because I was astounded by how bullshitty it was. And then Emily Andrews chimed in immediately. Like, she was in my mentions in like 2 seconds. Like, how dare you say this? I know these girls. You know, they weep every night because of what Meghan did to them.
All right, I'm reading it here. Here's what she said. She said, thing is, sadly for all these staff, it's not bullshit. These are real young women, most of them, for whom every day at work became really, really hard. Is Jason, an American and previously her staunchest supporter, a liar? Before you dismiss, ask if the Sussexes are suing. Okay, so that has 177 comments under it. And the Sussex Squad came for her ass. They are awesome.
I mean, I replied to her too. But, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not going to stop following any of the royal reporters because I need to know what they say for my job. I need to know what they're saying to each other. I need to know, like, what they're reporting on. I feel that that's my responsibility as a gossip blogger. I'm not in her mentions. I'm not in Emily's mentions. I'm not in Richard Palmer's mentions. I'm not in any of these mentions. I think I have commented on like an Omid Scobie tweet here and there.
Yeah, we like him. You know, he's decent.
Yeah, we like him. He's not a fucking asshole. But like, how fucking crazy is it that Emily Andrews is in my fucking mentions? It's ridiculous.
And then after that, she tweeted, I hadn't heard it yet because I hadn't read the article, and she was tweeting that stuff about the earrings and Meghan wearing those earrings, and it made me so mad. I was emailing you. I was like, we should block her. I can't stand her. And then I was like, no, she'll just call us out on it if we block her. Let's just ignore her. She's so dumb.
She and a few of the other royal reporters were downright gleeful that they had something on Meghan. That Meghan wore earrings that she wasn't supposed to. And none of them were doing their fucking jobs. Hey, wait, Meghan wouldn't have picked those out herself. Maybe we should ask questions of the palace about this. Maybe we should do a follow-up. Nope, they were just gleeful.
They just had a source, so they're happy. And so while this all was happening, Meghan won her judgment against the Mail on Sunday, and they've been ordered to pay her legal fees. She just keeps winning. Like, that's a lot of money that they have to pay her. And you wrote that they put it on layaway.
Yeah, because Meghan wanted a bigger down payment on her legal fees. And the judge was like, I'm just going to make them pay what I know that they can pay right away. So I was like, oh shit, the judge knows that they got to put this shit on layaway.
Oh my gosh. And then, like, late on Wednesday night, we got another teaser from that CBS interview. And you kind of predicted it. You predicted it. You said that they're holding the good stuff. So they waited a few days, and then they released this quote from Meghan. I'm going to play this excerpt from that. You probably heard it already, but I'll play it again anyway.
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us. And if that comes with risk of losing things, I mean, there's a lot that's been lost already.
Like, okay, first, I love the timing. Oprah and CBS, they waited until the palace thoroughly showed their asses. The palace was like full-on clownery. And CBS was like, oh, by the way, here's another teaser of Meghan saying, can you believe these fucking clowns?
And yeah, she's basically speaking ahead of them smearing her. She was like, yeah, I know they're going to smear me. I mean, you just heard what she said. That was the entirety of what she said. But you can interpret it that way. She knew they were going to do that. She said it. They did it. And then they released that part. Oh. This is going to be a good interview. So our podcast comes out on Sundays. I know we publish the post on Mondays. So this is going to be out before the interview on Sunday. And of course, we'll talk about it next week when it comes out. But it's going to be good.
And follow me on Twitter, Kaiser at CB. I think I am going to do an open post on Sunday night.
On Sunday night. Okay.
I didn't do an open post for the Golden Globes, and I'm very happy because that was a shit show. But
nobody
this is going to deliver.
Shit. Yeah, it will. We're all going to watch it. All right, let's move on to the comments of the... Do you want to move on to the comments of the week?
Yeah.
Okay. So my comment of the week is on the post about the peanut butter only Reese's cups. So I just want to talk about Reese's cups. That's why I wrote about it. EMC says, I only eat the holiday ones. The eggs and pumpkins are the best. The hearts, bats, and trees are still good, but they don't got nothing on the eggs and the pumpkins.
Yeah, the egg Reese's are probably the best. Yes. I still remember this really great Mindy Project joke. Mindy is saying, how long until turkey-shaped Reese's cups?
The trees are really good. I like the trees.
Yeah, they're good.
There was this guy, I included it in my post. He was bitching in a comment about how Reese's never got back to him about his idea for summer shapes, and he's really hurt because he's one of their biggest fans. He wants them to do like a flip-flop or something. I don't know.
What would they do for summer shapes?
Like a star or a flip-flop, or I don't know. I'm not going to do a bikini.
Yeah, I guess like a star for 4th of July, maybe.
Yeah, that's good. And we had a comment from somebody who says that they heard that the seasonal candy tastes fresher because it doesn't have the waxy coating of the regular cups. It's like something to preserve it. But I tried to do research on this, and I could not find anybody that said that. So it might just be a rumor. This theory is that the seasonal Reese's taste better because they have more peanut butter. They have a higher peanut butter to chocolate ratio. Now I want an egg.
We don't have to get scientific about it.
But I really wondered about this. I had to look it up.
All right. My comments of the week are from one of the Hillary Baldwin. I'm not going to say her fucking Spanish name. Hillary Baldwin stories. Ever since we found out that she was faking a Spanish background, I've been trying to intersperse her stories with Spanish. First of all, like, I took Spanish in high school, and I have been loving, like, giving myself little quizzes to see how much I remember of Spanish. And I'm not doing this to insult Spanish speakers whatsoever. I love the Spanish language. I love Spanish speakers. I think it's a sexy language.
She's the one who insulted them.
Yeah, like, I wish I could speak Spanish, like, authentically and fluently. I love it. I've been putting in little Spanish asides, and I think a lot of people love it. But Serafina says, es verdad, ella es muy loca, which is, it's true, she's very crazy. And she goes on, I can't imagine taking care of all those kids because Hillary had a 6th child via surrogacy.
Under 8. She has 6 kids under 8.
Yeah. And then Leon's mama says, is it just me or am I getting an Octomom vibe from her? And Trillian says, totalmente, which is totally in Spanish.
Trillian has been around forever. She's been with us for like 10 years at least.
Yeah, she has been.
Yeah.
She doesn't comment every day. She dips in.
Yeah. How can you have that many kids? Like, one kid was so much work for me. I was like saying to my husband, I'm done. And he's like, I want another kid. I'm like, I'm good now.
Well, I don't have any kids. And like, sometimes I'm honestly like, God, 2 cats is so much work. It really is,
yeah.
though.
It is. It's work having pets. It's so much more work having humans that you're trying to raise.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know. I feel so bad for people during the pandemic with little kids at home that they have to teach.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at least my teenager does his own thing and has friends he talks to and stuff. It's like, can you imagine having little kids at home that you have to watch and then doing your job and like, oh God, no.
Well, I guess it's fine for Hillary and Alec because they have 20 million nannies.
Yeah.
Both Hillary and Alec are fucking loco.
They are. They're good for each other. They deserve each other. Well, that would be awesome if they ever split up.
I honestly think that they've separated or they don't spend a lot of time together. But
because he doesn't take care of the kids. It seems like they bug him. He said as much as that.
I know he has
it.
said it. He thinks it's Hillary's responsibility to take care of the kids.
And to change diapers. He never changes diapers or anything. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous.
Alec full-on said that he was done having kids after Eduardo. Like, after the 5th child, he was like, you know what,
like, you
we're
know
fucking
their
done.
names? How do you know their names? Like, what? After
Because
Eduardo.
I've been writing about them. Because Eduardo was the youngest one.
Okay.
She was pregnant with Eduardo when she
Eduardo.
arranged for the surrogate. Oh my God.
Oh, that's the 6-month-old. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
The girl is named Carmen. So Carmen, Eduardo.
Lucia is a pretty name for a baby. I like that name for the new one.
I think Leonardo, one of them. Maybe Raphael.
They're named after the Ninja Turtles. All right, thanks for listening, bitches.
Thanks, bitches.
Oh my God.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you like us, please turn off your ad blocker when you visit our site. You can text us or leave a voicemail at 434-218-3219. Our music is from AA Alto, Maiden, and via Premium Beat and Sound of Picture. Thanks again.